Light, do you understand your role now? You must lift the shackles that bind people's hearts and save their souls. The more souls you save, the more Aradia you can harvest. That is crucial because it means buying the world more time.
What do you want now?
I've come to help you remember what you've lost. Don't pretend you don't know what I'm talking about, okay? You woke up from your crystal sleep with God's voice in your ear. He said you had to be the savior. But part of what made you lightning was missing, leaving a big empty hole in your heart.
Yeah, that's how it feels. It's like I've forgotten something important, something that I need.
Huh? Really? I thought you'd deny it. But it's okay. I'll help you remember.
Indestructible crystal. Even in the sea of chaos, it never loses its shine. I will become an eternal epitaph. Your memory will survive for eternity within a crystal tomb. This shall be my legacy and my atonement. But most of all, my final hope.
You wanted to protect her, so you fell into that crystal sleep. You became a tomb for a memory, a moment frozen in time, with Sarah's soul cocooned inside. So tell me, Lightning, where do you think Sarah is now?
Yes. I remember now. She was there, in my heart. I had her memories. They were inside me. I took them into the crystal. She was with me then. We should have been together the whole time.
Right. Now you're catching on. So, the hole in your heart?
Sarah's soul. That's what I'm missing.
And you know who took it out, don't you? Benevelza did when he woke you up to do his bidding. He must have messed with your memories too, and tried to make you forget about it.
And so he had the perfect motivation. Or should I say hostage. He's gonna hold on to her until I've done what he wants.
Oh, I don't know if he thought it out that far. He's not very good with human emotions, that god of yours. Maybe he just threw her soul away and let it be swallowed up by the chaos.
But he promised me. He said as long as I did what I was told, he'd bring Sarah back to me. If he lied, then I don't care if he is a god. I'll destroy him.
Now that's more like the old Lightning. But do you really think you can take on a god?
Well, I wouldn't bet against me. I might have found a way to shut him down. A last resort if all else fails.
You've been brewing up contingency plans. Sneaky, Lightning. Very sneaky.
I haven't made up my mind yet. This world is finished. Soon it'll be gone forever. And Benevelza is the only one who can build us a new one. When he's done, then I'll decide.
So you'll play his game for as long as it takes to build the new world. Then you'll sit in judgment on him, you'll betray him and destroy him and steal the new world he labored to build. Is that your plan? I love it. Turning on God and making him a pawn in your own game. It's audacious. Oh, but little Hope is going to be so disappointed. He really does trust you, you know, and you're going to betray him. Oh, you did think about that, didn't you? You turn on God, you turn on hope. Are you ready for that? Do you have it in you to fight him? Are you really prepared to kill hope?
You think I'm not?
You answered a question with a question. That's an evasion. Got ya. But it's not a big deal. It looks like hope and talks like hope, but it isn't hope anymore.
Are you saying he's a fake?
Sorry, but the only fake I know is Sarah.
Look, if you're gonna talk nonsense, this conversation is over. I've got better things to do.
Fine, Lightning. Let me make it all clear. Look around you and see the lies. The Sarah you talked to is a lie. Hope in his arc is a lie. How long is it going to take before you wake up? Before you realize that maybe, just maybe, you're a lie too.
Welcome in. Come back again.
Bad omen. I'm looking for a woman who used to own a bookstore in these parts. She also goes by the name Mitka.
Well, my name is Mitka, and I ran a bookshop once back in the day, but that was over 200 years ago. Are you certain I'm the one you're looking for?
I'm not, but maybe you can help me. Listen, I know it's been a while, but I was wondering if you remember a man named Ranulf.
Ah, yes, I remember him. Gosh, that was a long time ago. Who are you anyway? What do you want with him?
He's the one who found me, really. He asked me to track down an old journal of his for him.
He did? Huh, that's a strange request. And what is he up to these days?
Eating muffins and reading his books. That's about it, really.
Oh. So, why are you helping him, if you don't mind my asking?
It's what I do, that's all.
Oh. Are you one of those people who does charity work?
Call it what you will. So, can you help me out?
All I can tell you is that I've never handled his journal, but I do know a thing or two about his past. But none of that is for me to divulge. If you want the truth, you need to find out for yourself.
I plan to. I just don't know where to start.
Head to the part of the city they call the Warren. Once there, seek out the man with no name.
Right. Hope there's only one of them, or that's gonna be rather difficult.
Oh, not to worry. You'll find him. But I urge you to be very, very careful. What you're doing is admirable, but it might not be what he really needs. Venture into the Warren and seek out the man with no name. He may know the way.
Damn it, I'm late.
ghost was spotted in the area where that woman was killed. Everyone's talking about it. My friend claims to have seen something strange late at night, but I'm not so sure I believe her.
A lot of strange rumors are going around. People are whispering about ghosts. Are being haunted by dead girls. You don't believe them, do you?
I like to keep an open mind. If the stories are true, I'd like to help those people. They died because of me.
As much as I hate to say this, you're not omnipotent. As the Savior, you don't have the power to save the dead.
Yeah, I know the extent of my own powers, Hope. But never say never.
Another disaster! Those woolly-headed ovine have done it again! What goes on in those tiny heads of theirs? Why do they do this?
Sounds like you have more sheep trouble.
I'd say I do! The fuzzy sheep have effected a mass escape! Every single one of them gone!
Doctor, you must calm down.
What? Oh, sorry. You could hear me from over there?
They could hear you back in Luxarian, I'd say.
Oh, it's just I'm so upset. This young lady is Millie, a good friend of mine. Now, Millie, did you need something?
Nothing. It's just that, well, I think I know why the sheep ran away.
You do? Pray tell.
Last night, I heard some kind of ruckus around the pens. I couldn't tell what it was, but I'm thinking it must have put the sheep into a panic. Maybe it was some kind of monster, and it tried to get at the sheep.
I see. So the sheep were terrorized by the occurrences of the night. Something reminded them of it, and they bolted en masse. Well, that certainly would explain their behavior. But I'm no closer to getting them back. It is near impossible to herd a whole flock of panicked sheep. The only thing that could drive them back is something bigger and scarier than what they saw in the night. Something like a chocobo.
Right. I thought this would come to me. You want me to round up your flock. Not that it would be a bad idea. My chocobo needs to stretch his legs.
kind?
Words are not enough to express the depth of my gratitude, but thank you.
Don't lose him again.
Indeed, that mystery remains unsolved. Why did they flee in the first place? Millie suggested that a monster put a scare into them. She's nowhere to be seen. That's not like her.
Things to do, maybe?
Yes, perhaps, but I'm a bit worried. She seems a little troubled in recent days.
If I see her, I'll talk to her.
I'd be grateful if you did. Ah, I almost forgot the most important thing of all. I must present you with your just reward. Perhaps this means nothing, but do you ever get the feeling you're being watched? I do.
What was I thinking? I'm a fool.
What are you talking about?
Well, all right, I'll confess. It was me who did it. I was the one who made all the sheep run away like that. There was no monster. There never was. In the dead of night, I saddled up a chocobo and rode around the pens, whooping and shouting.
And that's what panicked the sheep? But why would you do that?
Well, it's complicated. You see, I really wanted to give Dr. Sheep a reason to talk to you.
So that's what this has been all about. Wouldn't it have been easier to just introduce us, like normal people do?
He's been excited ever since he heard about your arrival in the Wildlands. But he's terribly shy, the doctor. He'd never be able to just approach a stranger, no matter how much I prodded him. Not in normal circumstances, it just wasn't going to happen, so I came up with a plan. I had to make him desperate enough that he'd totally need your help. Then he'd have to talk to you.
So you chased away all the sheep. That threw the doctor into a total panic. You figured that in his desperation, he'd forget his shyness and talk to me.
It does sound crazy looking back on it, but it worked. Except that since then, the sheep have been incredibly nervous and high-strung. Any little thing is enough to set them off stampeding out of their pens and into the wilderness.
Cannot be good for them.
I know, I feel terrible about the whole thing. All I wanted to do was help the doctor, but instead I've made him worried sick. Not to mention, years of research almost went down the toilet.
If you're really sorry, you should tell the doctor what you did.
No, I couldn't. What if he ended up hating me?
If you don't, he's gonna keep worrying about what scared his sheep in the first place. Are you okay with that? You care for each other, don't you? Then tell him the truth.
Care for each other? What do you mean? That is to say, yes, we do, but...
You said it yourself. He's a very shy man, but he talks to you easily enough. Seems to me he thinks of you as something more than just a colleague. Just talk to him. He'll understand.
All right, I will. Thank you so much. You've been so kind to me, despite all the trouble I caused you.
Merci beaucoup, Monsieur Cole.
Shh! I told you, no one's supposed to know I'm alive.
Oh mon Dieu, pardonnez-moi. I'm so sorry.
Ah! What are you...
We meet again, Cole of Canopus Farms.
Well, you found me out.
So, it was you all along.
I'm sorry, young lady. I didn't mean to make you part of the deception. Tell me, when poor Sarala read my letter, did she shed a tear for her father?
She did more than that.
I suppose she was inconsolable. She's still just a child. She lost her mother when she was too young. For a long time, it's just been the two of us. And that's the whole problem, see? She's grown too dependent on me. Always needing me to look after her. She's got to learn how to stand on her own 2 feet. I can't look after her forever. Kids have to strike out on their own eventually. She's a skilled farmer, and she's done wonders with that field. I know she can make it on her own, but she doesn't believe she can. I thought the best thing for her would be if I just disappeared. Faked my death and left her life for good. A nice clean break.
For who?
Huh?
You say it's for your daughter's sake, but it's not just about her now, is it? Or will you tell me I'm wrong?
No, I cannot tell you that. Yes, I have another reason. I've wanted to leave the village for a long time now. I have to go on a journey, you see, to find my wife. Gone these many years.
Your wife? And Sarala's mother?
Yep. She disappeared years ago. Most folk have given up on her, and figure she must be dead by now. She's gone, Cole, they tell me. They try to convince me to let her go. As if I could. I know she's alive. Somewhere out there.
Hope springs eternal.
You mocking me? You think I'm wrong?
I've lost family too. My younger sister. Every hour I pray to see her again.
Then you understand how I feel.
Yes, and I think Sarala will as well. If you explain to her why you have to go, she'll give you her blessing. You don't need to fake your death. Why make her grieve anymore?
I don't want to hurt her. But you're wrong. She'd refuse to let me go. It's better this way. It's what she needs. I mean, look at me. It wasn't until my father passed that I learned to fend for myself. I still miss him, though. He was a stubborn bastard, no doubt about it, but by God, he knew about growing veggies. I relied on him for everything, right up until the day he died. Now, I've got to go. You have to promise me to keep this a secret. Don't you blab to Sarala. I've got a long journey ahead of me, and I need to pack my saddlebags.
A stubborn bastard. Someone who is an expert at growing vegetables? I wonder if he really is. Hey, are you ready to tell me more about your friend? His story's pretty intriguing.
Oh, you're back. I knew you couldn't stay away forever. I wager you're dying to hear the rest of my friend's story. Now, where were we? Oh, right. He'd gotten transferred to a department that handled big stories and was given a huge one himself. It was a bribery case in Yusnan. The woman suspected of the crime held quite a high position in the order.
Corruption at the very top of the church hierarchy, huh? Sounds like a pretty big story, all right.
It was indeed. Quite scandalous, actually. My friend pursued the case with a vengeance and published articles about it every day to keep the public informed of the facts. The woman was subjected to heavy criticism. A little too much, in fact. Turns out my friend was right about one thing. The saying is true. The pen is mightier than the sword. Unable to cope, she killed herself.
That must have been tragic for your friend. But he simply told the truth, that's all.
Well, the real tragedy is what followed. Shortly after her death, a document was uncovered. This document provided invaluable evidence in the case. It exonerated her of her crime. She was innocent.
So the articles written by your friend drove an innocent person to take her own life?
Yes, and he couldn't bear such a burden. I mean, who could? I'll have to tell you the rest of the story at another time.
have something important I want to ask you. It's about Cole from Canopus Farms.
What? Cole, you say? Nah. What did that sorry excuse do now?
He's dead.
What? That can't be. Are you sure? Why would the goddess take him before me? That son of mine. He never knew how to do anything right.
Ah, I knew it. I knew it. You're Cole's father, are you not? Which also makes you Sarala's grandfather.
Huh? What? No. Cole's father passed away a long, long time ago.
Cole's a bad liar. And now I know where he gets it from. Long ago, you disappeared out of Cole's life by faking your death. And now, he's doing the same. Your son is planning to leave the village, for good. Sarala will be all on her own.
So, he's not dead? That little... picking up and leaving his only daughter to fend for herself? Doesn't he know how much that'll hurt poor Sarala? I'd like to wring his neck.
Look who's talking. Isn't Cole just following in your footsteps? It's what you did to him.
Well, yeah, but it's different with us. It's not the same thing. I did it so my son could grow into a man. Listen to me, young lady. People don't age in this world, and death is rare. Parents stay parents. Kids stay kids. And that dependency, it never changes. That's why kids never learn to fend for themselves. They always have their parents to rely on. Even a grown man like Cole. So you see, that's why I faked my own death. It was all for his own good, so he could learn to stand on his own 2 feet.
Right. You say you did it for his own good. And I suppose you believe that. But now, are you gonna let Cole do the same thing? You've been watching over them for years now, keeping your secret. But it's time to step in. What about Sarala? She's already lost her mother, her grandfather, and now she's about to lose her father. She's got no one left.
I don't want her to be sad. It breaks my heart seeing her unhappy. You're right. I have to fix this. Maybe I can talk to the two of them, and we can start over as a family. It's worth a try. I have a plan. Would you lend me a hand? I'll talk to Cole and lure him to a certain place. Will you talk to Sarala and bring her there? Oh, but please don't tell her I'm the one setting this up. She may not come if she knew.
Yes, I can do that. Where should we meet you?
Chef Arius's restaurant. Now go to Canopus Farms and talk to Sarala. Please get her to come.
Sarala, do you have a minute?
Yes, I do. What is it?
There's someone who wants to meet you. It's the man who told me about your father. He was with him at the end.
You mean you found someone who talked to Father before he passed?
Something like that. What do you say?
Okay. Where should I meet them?
Do you know Chef Arius's restaurant? He'll be there.
I do. It's that little place in Arius Village, right?
You don't think the chaos will come back, do you?
Bonjour. I have heard all about you from Cole's father. Please, come in. Your timing is perfect. The other 3 members of Mademoiselle's party arrived moments ago.
Sarala.
Father? You're alive!
Yes. And I'd like to explain why. I couldn't just abandon you. You deserve to know the whole story.
Sarala, let me explain.
Who are you?
Have you forgotten me? I suppose I don't blame you. I'm Cole's father, your grandfather. I know. They told you I was dead.
Wait, what's going on?
This may be hard to conceive, but I faked my death. I wanted Cole to grow up and learn to do things on his own. That's why I staged the whole thing, and kept it up all these years. And now your father wants to go off on his own and leave you behind. For both your sakes. But unlike me, he wants to do it the right way. He wants you to grant him your blessing before he departs.
I'm so sorry, Sarala. I wanted to tell you, but I just couldn't. I'm going on a journey. I have to do it. To find your mother.
Oh, I just knew it. I knew you hadn't given up on Mother, even after all the time that's passed.
Why don't you all have a seat? You can continue talking inside the restaurant.
You're back! Do you want to buy some tears? I should warn you, though, I had to raise the price a little.
Explain to me why I should have to pay more than before.
Are you questioning the market value of my tears? They're special. Only for special people.
All right. You've talked yourself up quite a bit. Well, show me what you've got.
No, I can't. Not for you.
You've certainly got a knack for testing my patience.
Since you already gave me your money, I'll tell you a big secret instead. Do you know how I cry for people? Can you imagine the things I think of?
Something sad, like your pointless existence?
No, Miss Smarty Pants. I don't think of anything. I just empty my head. Then, like magic, the tears come.
So, you're a born fraud.
You mean actress. I had a great mentor.
Who was that?
My acting coach. He's the one who taught me to become one with my role. Without him, I'd have gone nowhere. Master that, and the acting would come naturally. He taught me everything I know. This might seem silly, but I kept acting to spend time with him.
You really cared for him.
I loved him. I wanted to be with him for the rest of my life. But look at me. Even though we spent decades together, he never stopped treating me like a child. Who can blame him, really? He died some time ago in an accident. I didn't have the heart to keep acting after that. I just couldn't. Without him watching my performance, it all seemed so pointless.
So that's why you quit.
I thought it was time. I went through a few things after that, nothing I'll bore you with. And now I'm here, selling my tears. So this is my calling.
That's an optimistic way to look at things. But I have to ask, doesn't the past make you cry?
Tears dry up, you know. I cried every day for 100 years after he passed away. But not anymore. I can cry to keep my business going, but that's something completely different. And that's enough talk for today.
She's awfully cheerful for someone who cries for a living, don't you think?
She does seem happy, at least on the surface. But sometimes people laugh when they're crying on the inside.
We still call ourselves a research team, but it doesn't mean much now. By the way, do you mind if I ask you a favor?
What exactly do you want?
I'm sorry to do this to you again, but I need more herbal ingredients. But this time, it's not for a dog.
Someone in the camp is sick?
They're not for me. Dr. Sheep over in Arias has been looking for certain ingredients for years. And I want to help him, if I can.
You know each other?
Not exactly, but I thought it would be a good way to introduce myself.
I get the picture. You've admired him from afar, and you think this will get him to notice you. Go on. Tell me I'm wrong.
No. I mean, you make it sound so underhanded.
If you say so. Short story is, you want to give the doctor a surprise present. Might be fun. I'll help.
You will? Thanks. It's just not something I could do on my own. Here, this is what I'm looking for. Frankly, everyone's forgotten what we were supposed. Thanks. This will be the perfect way to introduce myself. I've dragged other people into helping me with this, so I can't back out of it now. I am going to visit Dr. Sheep right away.
Yes? What can I do for you?
Nothing. I'm here to help you. Here, I've brought you these.
Are these what I think they are? Yes! All the natural ingredients I've been searching for. This will advance my research immeasurably. I am in your debt, young lady, whoever you might be.
You really don't know who I am, do you?
No, I'm afraid not. Should I? Have we met before? I am terrible with people's faces, you know. Now, if you were a sheep...
I guess it's not you after all. You can't be Deet. If you were, you'd surely remember me.
Did you say Deet? How do you know my real name? Wait, are you... Can it be? Are you Tilda, my sister?
Deet! It is you! I knew it!
Just a second. You two are long-lost siblings? You're actually Dr. Sheep's sister?
Yes, yes! We got split up hundreds of years ago. It happened back when the chaos first poured into the world. I never thought I'd find you out here. I mean, when I first saw you, I couldn't believe my eyes. It was so long ago, after all.
Yes, I could say the same. Why, I'd long given up hope that you were still alive. But I don't understand. Why didn't you come to me right away?
I was afraid. I didn't know what I'd do if you weren't really my brother. No one knew your name, either. Everyone called you Doctor. So, I just waited.
Until you found an excuse to approach him.
Yes, although if I had to be totally honest with myself, the fact is, I was just putting it off for as long as I could.
It's your fault, Doctor. Now how could you forget your own sister's face?
But I didn't. I mean, I did, but I thought she was dead. She looked familiar, but I had no reason to expect my sister to be here. It was inconceivable.
Deet, I looked for you for so long.
And I too, dear sister. I'm sorry. I should have known it was you right away.
It's all right. I'm just so happy that you're alive. I can't believe it. It's like a dream come true.
Dearest sister, it's been far too long. We have a lot of catching up to do.
Gracious me, where did you come from?
If you're that jumpy, maybe you shouldn't wander out here at night.
I'm not wandering. I'll have you know that I'm pursuing science, important science. Yes, I'm on these plains for a reason. I'm here to learn more about the breeding habits of the fuzzy sheep.
Look, you're dedicated. That's great, but is it worth dying for? There are monsters out here.
Yes, I know. It is believed that fuzzy sheep mate only at night. I've tried on a number of occasions to track them back to the breeding grounds, but each time, a marauding monster has driven me away. I've been forced to make my observations from this distant spot, so as not to endanger the sheep by attracting more monsters. However, it is dangerous work.
That sounds foolhardy to me.
I accept the risks. And do you mind? I have work to do. Unless, that is, you would care to help me.
Maybe, but you're putting yourself in too much danger.
Oh, I know it's reckless. But I have no choice. The whole of science eagerly awaits my results.
Why don't I make the observations for you? I can keep the monsters away at the same time, and then let you know what I see. That sound good?
But... Oh, dash it. Very well. It is far from ideal. But what choice do I have? Monsters seem drawn to me like flies to a pile of behemoth dung. As far as I can tell, the fuzzy sheep spend the night amongst the ruins atop that hill. I hope you will meet with more success than I.
I'll do my best. Now, will you go home?
Fine. I shall await your report in Arius Village.
Odin, back me up! Thanks for waiting. No match for us. This looks a lot like an egg. It can't belong to the sheep.
What do you have there? Is it an egg?
What are you doing out here? I told you to wait for me in Arius.
I couldn't just loiter around the village, twiddling my thumbs and waiting for you.
You could have been killed. But now that you're here, you might as well take a look at this. I found it in one of the sheep's nests. What do you make of it?
You did? Are you sure it was a sheep's nest? Let me see. Gracious! Could it be? This is incredible. I do believe you have found the first verified fuzzy sheep egg.
A sheep egg? You're joking. I mean, that's impossible. Sheep don't lay eggs.
Oh, I assure you it's entirely possible. As a scientist, I can tell you that many kinds of animals lay eggs, not just birds and reptiles. For example, monotremes are mammals that lay eggs, although I admit they are decidedly uncommon. So, it's all clear now. That's why the sheep return to the same place every night. They have to sit on their nests and incubate the eggs through the cold night.
These are the sheep's nesting grounds.
Yes! It's the greatest biological discovery of the century. Here, let me have the egg. I shall guard it with my life. If I can keep the embryo alive, and a fuzzy lamb hatches from it, it will be the final incontrovertible proof of my discovery. The decades of work and self-sacrifice have at last borne fruit. Thank you for everything. Here, let me have the egg. If I can keep the embryo alive, the decades of work and